and join with me here in the studio tonight. I just want to say a huge warm welcome to the guys and girls of the Pig&Applestock Festival. Good evening.
Thanks, Sam.
Hello.
So we've got Kelly and Tom in, and just going to briefly fill all of you guys in about it. Obviously, Kelly, you're the main sort of administrator, aren't you?
That's correct, yeah.
Yeah. And Tom, you're a bassist of the Antiloids, aren't you?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Do you guys want to tell us a bit more about yourselves, just to...
I mean, I think we're sort of like, there's a group of us setting up the festival, and everyone kind of takes on quite fluid roles. Like, you know, I do sort of like a lot of the creative side of it, and Kelly does, you know, a lot of the big organising and creative stuff as well. And I mean, a lot of it will just be at kind of collecting things, you know, from charity shops and stuff, you know, for the festival, and kind of deciding what's going to, you know, be used, and building things, you know, just all sorts of different stuff behind the administration.
Yeah, it's got a very handmade, like DIY feel about it, obviously, because we're trying to raise as much money as we can. We kind of spend the year crafting and searching for little things to, like, decorate the event, so it's got a nice kind of personal touch.
I've got to say, just for the listeners who have never heard of you guys before, I've got to say, if you visit your website, it's absolutely amazing. I mean, some of the stuff you do recreate actually the kind of Woodstock feel of things, and it's just incredible. And being down by the reservoir as well, it's an absolutely beautiful location.
Yeah, it's a really nice site. Yeah, there's a wonderful view of the lake. Yeah, a couple of people who sort of live on the side of the lake who kind of get involved with the festival as well. It's just sort of a really nice atmosphere. And
obviously, if you'd like to just find out a few of these images, if you are online at the moment, it's applestock.co.uk, and I do believe you've got a video up there as well.
Yeah, that was sort of, it was a kind of little project I was doing last year. I planned to film the whole festival, but once I got started, because we have a very small staff, there's about, last year there's probably only about 6 or 7 of us.
Yeah, there's 9 this year.
9 this year, so it's a very small staff considering there's about 500 people at the event. Well, that's the maximum, that's what we're hoping for this year. So I wanted to film it, you know, to document the whole thing, but we ended up being so busy running around so much that, you know, there were just random shots late at night filming each other dancing when I was, you know, maybe had a few too many drinks, so the video's a bit all over the place and quite specific, and most of it is actually taking the festival down at the end and relaxing by the lake and stuff.
But it does give a good insight, you know, it shows nice shots of, like, the lovely view of the lake, and, you know, some of the marquees at night, and, you know, the different kind of vibe. It gives you an overall feel.
Yeah, so it sets the mood nicely, yeah. It kind of lets you know it's a kind of free, open sort of place, you know, where everyone just has a nice time.
Yeah. Excellent. And I mean, obviously, this is your third year now, isn't it?
Yeah, we're in the third year, yeah.
And going absolutely amazing. So far, you've raised, I do believe, about $3,500 worth.
That's right, yeah.
I think it was
1,000.
Between the 2
years.
That's
2012, and then last year it was just over 2.5.
Yeah, so it was a nice increase. We're hoping for more this year.
And I mean, ticket sales are doing better than last year, and last year they did better than the year before. So, you know, it's steadily growing. So, you know, fingers crossed it will be more money as well. You know,
and of course, all those profits go towards the MS charity as well. They go to the
it's the Leicestershire MS Therapy Centre. So
it's
really close to the site, and it's really nice that, you know, the money gets raised and literally just kind of goes around the corner and funds something so important.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, MS in itself, obviously, there's no particular treatment about, is there, at the moment, to cure it?
Yeah, there's no cure. So the MS Therapy Centre, they're a self-funded charity. They don't have any local or government funding, and they're actually in their 29th year. So they exist on donations and fundraising, like what the Pig&Applestock does. And then all the money goes towards new equipment and therapies which are offered at the centre, just to make people's lives easier, basically, help anyone affected.
Supporting the sufferers,
Yeah. Excellent, okay. Well, I've got a couple of tracks here, actually, just to give you guys out there a bit of a taste of what the festival's all about. Got a few tracks, actually. I'm going to start off with this one. I may sound a bit biased here. I'm going to start off with a track from the Antiloids. It is really good, really good. I've been playing this track quite a bit. And it's 30 Mile Woman. Sorry, I should have let you introduce that one, shouldn't I?
Oh, no, don't worry.
There we go, the Antiloids, 30 Mile Woman here on 102.3 HFM, the station that is proud to be local. You're back on the show here with me, Sam Britton, and also, as I mentioned, joined with Kelly and Tom from the Pig&Applestock Festival. So yeah, anyway, we've briefly touched upon, obviously, a bit about the festival now, but how did it all start out? Because I'm quite curious, because it's...
my uncle Nick, he basically started the idea. I think we were actually in a pub one night, and he was saying he'd had a few drinks. He was like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to start a festival and stuff." And I was like, "Oh yeah, oh Nick, oh yeah." And then later on in that night, he was did a big sort of spinning flying kick at the end of this big dance routine, and I thought, he's not going to start a festival.
He's not going to remember.
And then, but Nick's like interesting because he sort of conceptualises barriers differently to most people. People they'll be doing something, they'll have an idea, and then something kind of comes in the way, and that's a barrier. Like,
sure.
Right, I can't do it. So I think of starting a festival, I think, no, you can't do that, that problem. But Nick's like, no, forget all that, and just does it.
Yeah.
So once he got rolling with it, we've been kind of doing putting on nights in our town, and so we just kind of got involved with him and sort of all started collaborating and making it bigger.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah. I mean, obviously started off general idea, and it's become pretty big now. I mean, obviously you've had radio interviews, you've been in the paper as well, and it's becoming quite a big thing.
Yeah, the crowd's picking up a little more. I mean, like we said, hoping for about 500 this year.
And that's just on each day as well, isn't it? 500 per day, so it's the Friday, Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
We tend to get, fluctuating crowds. Some people might be there because Friday night is kind of like a folk night.
Okay,
so you do get different crowds over the weekend. You might get people more interested in the folk side of things, and then maybe on the Saturday you might get more families coming. There's some children related entertainment throughout Saturday and Sunday day.
Sure.
So you do get these kind of different groups of people. There's a little bit for everyone there. So.
Yeah, there's a clown, isn't there, this year?
Yeah, we've got an interactive circus workip
on
Saturday, which should be brilliant
for
the kids and adults. I'm really looking forward to learning how to juggle.
And anything in particular, or is it just just in general a kind of workshop?
Yeah,
bit of everything.
I think there was mention of a unicycle and juggling and walking.
There's a lot of this kind of entertainment through the weekend. There's a hurdy-gurdy man coming in to walk around and play some medieval music, and there's
we've got a samba band. We've got a really, really amazing storytelling and children's songwriting tent.
Okay,
by a lady named Jen Alvey. That's great. It's really interactive, and I love that. That's actually one of the main focuses of this year. Is everything we put on. Hopefully, people can get involved with the circus workshop and the storytelling and songwriting. It's actually encouraging the children to be, creative.
Yeah, and there's other things around for people to get involved. There's a few pianos around the site, and there's a kind of homemade drum kit we've done this year, and
there's a kids stage actually.
Yeah,
so they've got,
just sort of go nuts and
now or just having a little look around on your Instagram, I happened to come across a little picture that seemed quite appealing to me. I saw a board for mojitos. Now I do believe you got a tiki bar.
That's
this year.
That should be good.
Yeah, we built a sort of a tiki bar, kind of like a Hawaiian beach hut sort of thing. It's quite small, but we just sort of served some exotic cocktails from there. It went down really well last year. Put Hawaiian music over the big speakers, so it gets a nice sort of...
Oh, very nice, yeah.
Make sure you're wearing your loudest shirt.
Yeah.
Hopefully the sun will be up for that bit as well.
Excellent. So, and obviously just to tell everybody about when it's coming up, 3 weeks' time, isn't it? 3 weeks this weekend.
Yeah,
from Friday the 29th through to Sunday the 31st.
That's it, yeah.
And obviously, if people want to come along, where can they pick up the tickets from? And obviously, what time does it start on the Friday?
So tickets are available at our website, which is at www.applestock.co.uk. Ticket sales, as I mentioned earlier, are doing really well this year, so we would advise people to get them as soon as possible, because there's a good chance they might run out. We want to be able to put day tickets on the gate, for people at the last minute who might just want to come in from the local villages in the day to maybe just come for a few hours or something.
Sure.
We've done that most years, and they're priced at £10, but obviously that's, again, subject to availability.
Yeah.
So our tickets at the moment are on sale on our website at a cheaper price of £20, and then on the gate on the weekend, if there is some available, they'll be £25.
Okay, yeah.
And children under 10 go free.
Wow. That's very good. And I mean, it's more than just the music, obviously. It's you got to be there to experience it, I think. It looks like...
there's a real atmosphere about it. We have a lot of people coming up to us and saying, oh, this is a really nice weekend, it's great that you've done it and stuff. Because, of course, we're all working for free and stuff. It's kind of it's got a kind of community sort of feel, like everyone sort of comes and helps out. I mean, last year there was a woman who had brought her children, and they'd all enjoyed it so much they started going around the site and cleaning up all the rubbish for us. And,
wow.
They'd been to like 5 festivals over the past weekends, and they said that they liked Applestock the best, which is great. There were so many people like that who just sort of...
We had such lovely response.
It's got a very kind of
touching.
inclusive feel, like everyone feels very comfortable there. There's no sort of... I don't know what it is. Like we went to a festival today, just a local one. I won't say which one it is, but as soon as we got there was this kind of like empty sort of detachment. Like it was kind of like, right, they'd paid for a stage, paid for the band, paid for the food. Here's the stuff, there's the field. Go in and listen to the music. Whereas, of course, here it's all sort of everyone kind of building it together.
I suppose that interaction, like we mentioned earlier, we want people to come along and play themselves, actually. We want people to be a part of it. We have an open mic
it's
from
more personal,
12 till 2 on a Saturday and Sunday, and that's actually how the day starts, so unfortunately we can't have every band or artist that might want to play across the weekend, so it's almost like giving back something in that sense. We want them to be able to get up and share their music and their poetry, so we put an open mic night on, and we're actually going to have a busking corner this year as well.
Oh, right,
maybe
okay,
if people want to make a few pounds.
And there's even things like we've got this caravan in the corner, and you can go in and you just plug your iPod into the a little speaker set in
create
there.
your own disco,
and you just have your own little parties, your own music.
Excellent.
And, just bits and pieces.
It's nice
like that.
letting people kind of do as they please instead of maybe giving all the fun to them and letting them kind of do their own thing in a way and be a part of it.
Excellent.
It's nice.
Excellent. So obviously you're going to be sticking around for emails and texts and so on, and we'll speak to you in a short bit, but we're going to move on, and I tell you what, I've got so many brilliant tracks here to choose from. Any particular one out there that you'd like to choose?
What was it called?
I'll go for
Jim Zorn, Victoria Major.
Vicky's one is great. It's very sort of
this is one of my favourite
it's kind of
songs ever.
theatrical folk music. It's really nice,
really beautiful voice. She's one of the organisers, and she's playing again this year on the Friday night, and she's definitely one to watch out for. She's fantastic. So
here we go. This is Victoria Major and Where the Horses. There we go, Texas and In Our Lifetime, here on 102.3 HFM, the station that is proud to be live and local across South Leicestershire and North Northamptonshire. Also online at harbourfm.co.uk. So joined again with me in the studio, Kelly and Tom. Hello.
Hi.
Hello. So we're going to talk a bit now about this year's lineup, because obviously we got a few of the same bands and singer-songwriters who are coming back.
That's right.
Most notably Victoria Major. She's going to be back again this year. The Anti-Lloyds, obviously, yourself.
Yeah,
be back.
We've got Jim Zorn back and Fantan Jack. They're back.
Pale Faces.
Pale Faces.
Pale Faces.
I think we've got a Pale Faces song to play later, don't we?
We have, actually.
Yeah. They offer, because we kind of do. The musical interests of the organisers sort of kind of sways between like blues and psychedelia. So there's kind of I think this year maybe it's a little more heavy on the blues. There's like, I'll say to people like there'll be blues and folk on, but of course like it gets much more specific than that. So there's like who we got? So Phil and Kath, they play a kind of sort of more English or maybe kind of like Irish, Scottish like influence, but still maybe from like the American South blues, like bluegrass stuff. And there's Lane Hines, he does like Delta blues kind of stuff.
Sounds a bit like Robert Johnson.
Yeah, Robert Johnson kind of style, and there's Preacher and the Bear, they do more kind of electric, like Chicago blues sort of thing, like Howlin' Wolf or that kind of thing. We do kind of a sort of like tripped out like hillbilly sort of country kind of thing, like kind of banjo style. And there's a few banjo players as well, aren't there? There's the Sam Kelly Trio. They do a nice sort of it's like real, like a lot quite fast, like intricate sort of banjo stuff, like nice rhythm and stuff. A lot of the band's really good for dancing. The Creole Brothers are quite special. They're sort of
kind of Cajun.
It's like Cajun, Zydeco, Louisiana sort of sound.
There's quite a few sort of sub-genres sort of creeping in. It's nice, isn't it? It's sort of a big blend, and they all meet in the middle, don't they?
Yeah, definitely, because if you come and you don't know that music so well, then you've got this great, this dancey, like quite catchy music, really good atmosphere, I think, for In the Sun and On the Grass. It works really nicely. But then, of course, if you know the music better, you can get more into these specific types of blues and stuff that there's on. And then, of course, we've got kind of eased into psychedelia on the Saturday night with bands like Black Market Karma who are headlining. And then on the Sunday, we've got, like I mentioned about Pale Faces, they're sort of... It's kind of like maybe like Motown-y sort of Phil Spector kind of thing, but then it's kind of structured through a very experimental, more kind of maybe sort of psychedelic kind of thing, you know. So they make a really interesting sound. They go kind of nuts on the stage as well, you know, kind of flying around and. They've been at gigs where they'll come down and sort of jump on people and just screaming and go kind of crazy.
That sounds scary. They're not scary.
Yeah, they really like liven things up a bit. And Preacher and the Bear are much the same. They're kind of climbing all over their drum kit and keyboard and stuff and yelling. You know, so they're just great fun. Yeah.
Something else we've kind of thought about with the lineup is that we want to showcase local music, obviously, being a local festival. So we've got bands from Northamptonshire and Rugby, which is our hometown, that's where we're from, and also Leicestershire. But also, as nice as that is to put on bands, who people might have seen in their local bars, clubs or whatever.
Sure.
We've got a lady from Canada who's on a European tour at the moment. Her name's Tess Park. So as much as we want to showcase local music, I think it's really exciting to offer that other extreme
new
to
stuff
it.
For people. There's quite a few cool bands from London and stuff.
Yeah. Black Market Karma are very good.
We're bringing in the best stuff from, wherever we can find it, because we'll gig around a bit and, meet people and say, oh, do you want to come down or whatever.
Sure.
So it's kind of just keeping it as diverse as possible like that. I mean, even the music we play through the day is like there's a lot of world music and stuff, and there's a lot of South African stuff playing this year, I think. And it's just kind of, it makes a more interesting, kind of unique atmosphere. You don't go and hear a bunch of stuff you've heard before, this kind of recycled pop music or anything. It's very new and interesting for people, I think. And of course, again, if you know the music very well, it's a real treat because there's so few places which play this kind of music.
That's it, yeah. It's just, I mean, as I say, it's one of them things you've got to be there in the moment and just feel it, especially if you haven't heard that type of music before.
Yeah, and you'd be surprised how it takes people up, because there'll be people. I mean, Fantan Jack, especially on the Friday night, they play a really interesting. I mean, I wouldn't know exactly how to describe it, but it's somewhere in a kind of blues area, but they. They really pick it up and get really quick, and there'll be a lot of good dancing going on. Yeah.
I've happened to notice, actually, because obviously you rely a lot on volunteers, and it's kind of, as you mentioned earlier, it's a bit of a community feel to it. I do believe you're still looking out for volunteers.
We've got a good amount already signed up. We've got a good team, but we are still looking for some more, so that'd be really helpful. If people want to apply, either go on our website and there's a contact form there. You can just put in your details and it'll come through to us, or if you want to email us directly, our email address is pig&applestock@hotmail.co.uk.
Excellent. And I presume there's tons of different kind of things you can do. I mean,
there's still positions. That's the least glamorous one we have to offer, but just helping us basically to
it's a nice job, you get to chat to everyone and
like car park,
so you see all the music, it's just
also
really
volunteers get free entry, which is a nice little thing, and we feed them each day, so there's some nice perks to it, and they get to use the backstage area where there's like free drinks and snacks and things like that, so I think it's quite a nice thing to be able to be a part of.
Definitely.
Excellent. So it's in 3 weeks' time. If you just joined us, obviously we're talking about the Pig and Applestock Festival. 3 weeks' time, starting Friday the 29th through to Sunday the 31st of August. And just to give obviously the listeners a chance to get in, £20 entry. Obviously, if you book in advance, and it's just off of Junction 1, I do believe, on the A14.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah,
excellent. Well, thank you very much for coming in, and obviously, hopefully, see you again next year, and hope it all goes well for the next couple of weeks.
Thanks for having us. It's been good chatting.
And we're going to go out with one more track, I think, aren't we?
Cool.
As we mentioned, from the Pale Faces, and No More Kisses here on HFM.